Welcome to the Fortinus Events Global Podcast Series. I'm your host, Shweta. Recently, the UAE government made a definitive announcement that is sending ripples through every boardroom in the country. E-invoicing is becoming a mandate. With the July 2026 pilot phase fast approaching, businesses are moving from curiosity to a sense of urgency. And this is exactly why we are here today. To navigate this shift, you need a strategic partner who has seen the UAE's regulatory landscape evolve from the very beginning. Joining me today are two leaders from one of the region's most trusted firms, Kreston Menon. First, we have Mr. Raju Menon, Chairman and Managing Partner, a visionary in the UAE's financial sector who has navigated every major regulatory reform over the last few decades, and Mr. Ravishanker, Partner of Taxation, who is currently on the front lines helping firms translate these new government mandates into operational reality.
Thank you. Thank you,
Welcome
Ms.
to the
Shweta.
show,
Thank you.
guys. Mr. Menon, you have seen the UAE economy evolve through many stages. Looking at e-invoicing, how does this compare to the 2018 VAT rollout? Is this just another tax update, or is it a fundamentally different era for business leadership?
UAE is a matured and internationally benchmarked market. And in 2018, VAT was introduced. 2023, corporate tax was introduced. E-invoicing is not another set of taxation. E-invoicing is just to create easiness for the tax collections. This is being incorporated, is being implemented. So generally, the e-invoicing, when the recording is happening, the invoice recording is happening at the corporate level, then FTA is getting the real-time visibility to the invoicing, so that the transactions, each and every transaction, FTA has got a great visibility on that. How this is going to help the government? Government, it can really avoid the erosion of revenue. This is what mainly look at. So there are many frauds are happening with regard to the revenue when recording. So this can be minimized. This can be almost you can take it out from the system. So that's what exactly the government is going to get it. And whereas the corporates have got many advantages on this subject. Corporate, they can always improve the efficiency, and there is a long run level of cost reduction happens. Then similarly, it's a better compliance it gives. And the transactions, when you look at that, it's a clear tracking, and the transparency is already there. So when you look at the advantages, are many. So there is nothing to worry to the corporates that this implementation is going to make any problem to them.
Mr. Raju, just now the ones that you pointed out, that's the pros of e-invoicing, right? Could you bring us through the cons of e-invoicing and what businesses should be aware of? The disadvantages.
Yeah, yes. I don't consider that it's a con or disadvantages.
Yes.
I don't call it like that. I always think that it's a challenge. There are challenges, but not many. And in my opinion, the only major challenge is the cost. Initial cost is higher, so that you need to really budget for that, because when you wanted to do the implementation, you need to acquire a software, you need to have people to do that, and you need ASP in place, so that generally you need to do a bigger investment. That is the major challenge, I would say. Secondly, that you need to train everyone. So not only you need to train the CFO level, you need to train all the accounting people, you need to train the associated departments, you need to train. So these are all the requirement with regard to that. And the third one is the main one, I would say, that the mindset. Mindset is the main thing is happening with regard to the acceptance. So acceptance level can be low, so that from CFO to the level to the bottom, everyone should really change their attitude to the system, to the e-invoicing concept. This is what exactly.
Understand. Understood. I mean, that's basically how life is, right? Generally, like we all don't like changes, but changes are important. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Ravi, I have a question for you. The clock is ticking for phase one firms, and they have until July 1st to appoint an ASP. Yep. What is the one blind spot or mistake you see firms making to rush this?
No, it's a good question. I think Mr. Menon did touch upon this briefly in his
Yeah.
earlier response. I
Mhm.
believe this is definitely a change from the routine practice that all businesses have gotten used to. As with any change comes challenges.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of change management, and the time that goes behind that change management is
Mm.
something that is not really accurately captured right now. So people are taken by surprise at the amount of time that this implementation would take, and the time that is taken to train the people, the time that is taken to appoint an ASP. So what happens is appointing an ASP is the click of a button, or intimating the FTA is the click of a button. But there's a lot of prep work that needs to go before actually appointing the ASP. You need to do your due diligence with respect to the ASP. Are they competent? What have their previous experiences been? Where are the servers located? Is the data going to be in UAE?
Understand?
It is a mandatory requirement.
Understand?
Are you going to integrate completely? Are you going to do a manual upload? So there are a lot of questions that I think is not being asked at the appropriate time. So towards while we are going closer to the deadline, people may realize that they are short of time and they will make a rush decision. So I think budgeting for the time and doing the due diligence is what people are missing out on.
Compared to Malaysia, compared to most of the Southeast Asia country, UAE is considered one of the most advanced country. Yet it took them so long to, get to e-invoicing. And why is that so? Like, why now?
Sure. So if I were to look at
Yeah.
the story of UAE as an economy, uh, UAE has always been a trading hub. It was always strategically positioned. And over the last, I would say, a few years, you have also seen UAE evolve dramatically. And
Mm.
it has almost become a mandate that every multinational has a presence in the UAE. There are UAE headquartered businesses. There are people looking at uh, setting up new entities here from a strategic perspective and not just as a mere trading hub. Now, what that also brought in is a challenge of making sure that we take on international best practices, make sure that we are instilling investor confidence. I think the turning point
Yes.
was 2017 when UAE became a member of the G20 or OECD initiative for BEPS, that is Base Erosion and Profit Shifting Initiative. Uh, when we committed to the BEPS initiative, what we signed off on was essentially this, that we would bring in international best tax practices, we would ensure regulatory oversight, and the first step came out immediately in the introduction of VAT in 2018. And if you see, every reform that has happened after that has been an aftermath of this. You had ESR reporting that came in, you had
Mm.
CBCR reporting, you had corporate tax in 2023, you had Pillar 2 implementation. Now, e-invoicing is something that is an
Understand?
added layer which binds all of these taxes together,
Understand?
which binds all these regulations together. And I would say it was the next
Mm.
organic, natural next step.
Mr. Ravi, looking past the pilot phase into 2027, what does a perfectly compliant UAE finance department looks like? Is it fully automated or is there still a major human element?
Sure. I think a fully automated finance
Yeah.
department is a distant dream, I would say, because the human element is is indispensable. I think it is still required. But what e-invoicing is going to bring, and what any technology is going to bring, is a great deal of automation possibility where things that can be automated, which are, for lack of a better word, let's say very data level, very data entry centric or processing related activities, if those can be automated, the human brain can actually be utilized to only look at analyzing that data, to ensure that the right inputs are given at the right point of time, and also for strategy. So right now, a finance department is largely focused on, or meaning I cannot generalize this, but could be focused on ensuring that all the data is being entered accurately. But the minute that gets taken off, a lot of analysis, a lot of informed decision making becomes possible, and you can shift your focus into strategy level decision making. You can shift your focus into what you want as a business, and how does the finance team kind of play into the larger scheme of things. I think it is going to be a right mix of automation aided by human inputs at the appropriate time. I think that would be what 2027 has in store for us.
If you both could give a CFO an advice, what would it be regarding this? Mr. Raju, do you want to take this?
Yeah. CFO is a major pillar to implement this process. So he should budget it properly for the investments. And this budget, he has to bring it to the board. And he should give the software requirement, he should give the hardware requirement, and the total budget, and till what time this should be there, and what kind of the total outlay is going to be. These are all he has to convince the board properly. This is his first job. Then thereafter he has to look at his department. His department, there are so many people are working with him now, and these people, he does not know that they can accommodate the new subject into that. So he has to evaluate people, appraise the people, then accordingly he can just take a decision whether they should continue with him, or he may have to redundant certain of the people and new introduction has to happen. So as you know that now the IT and accounting is going in tandem, so that the accountants need to be IT savvy. So then if certain of the people are not IT savvy in his department, then definitely he will be recruiting new people with the IT knowledge, and so that this e-invoicing can be done very well.
So maybe if I was just to add to what Mr. Menon had said, I think very valid inputs that Mr. Menon had. There is something that I usually suggest all the CFOs during our discussions. See, what e-invoicing is doing is, right now, let's say the invoices are being exchanged by email. Now, when e-invoicing gets implemented, you are putting FTA in CC. So every email or every invoice that gets transmitted, FTA is in CC. Now that exposes you to transaction level visibility that you are giving to the FTA, as opposed to the summary that you are submitting right now. Now this is the right time that you need to do an evaluation as to whether your tax positions were correct. Is there anything ambiguous? Is there anything risky? Any risky positions that you have taken? Now is the right time to evaluate that, correct it if required, and then go to 2027 with a clean slate. I think that would be right on top for me if I were a CFO.
Well, thank you so much, you both, Mr. Raju, Mr. Ravi, for your time today. It was definitely
Thank you so much. Thank
insightful.
you for having us.
For those who are listening, please join us on 14th May to hear them speak more. If you have any questions, reach out. Yeah, I'll see you at the summit.